the old cast combination. We're going to have to use the modern link, sticking to, what we do best. If we really want Titus, I could pick another. Actually, you look here, it's like, wow. Other than Rusev and Luke Harper, yeah, SmackDown is weak. SmackDown always will be weak. So we will just do the modern link here. We'll throw Titus in there just in case. Moves pretty straightforward. Not a whole lot to say about Cass other than the fact that, a lot of people play with him. He's very easily, a Bray Rusev guy. If you look at it, it's a one match and then you just kind of blow up the board. I've seen a variety of ways to do it. Mostly, I've seen diagonal. That usually does a nice job with it, which kind of will clip as much of the board as you can. Sometimes you just want to find the red, because interestingly enough, and we've brought this up in past videos, with powerhouses, as much as that red gem is super strong, as is their two secondaries, the bottom gems actually are really weak, and there's a few that are under 1,000 based upon the character specifically. So you really do need to target it, and as a result, that's why you have such wide damage when you do casts, and especially at gold, you're gonna see that he's gonna have some issues because of the fact that there isn't necessarily a finisher forcing kind of move for him in the event that they do kick out, which now with the new kickouts, it's not minor. So I'm going to do this. We're going to go here. This should wipe out a good amount. And so you're just going to go with that whole triangulation. Board blown up. Semi-mindless. Down it goes. See, in this situation, you still have a pretty good shot at it, as you can see, based on the fact that the other two are charged up. But no necessarily guarantees that, they're going to necessarily do anything. His move damage is not on the Roman Reigns level, so the computer will not be as depleted as you necessarily would expect him to. So we ran through hard. You just saw 7 characters. We didn't talk about Titus, and I'm not going to. He doesn't really flow, and that's, he's a botch gem guy that just creates reds, but doesn't really create botch gems. So, that's my breakdown on him. And now on to Hell Mode. Hell Mode, 7 golds. Who do we use? So, who do I think is the weakest? I don't even think it's close. Batista, it is. See, what's interesting about Batista is simply he's just extremely slow. His upside's huge, but he's just really, really, really slow. He's got a heck of a lot of move damage, and I've seen that done in the past from a while ago. Some individuals, I think it was Aspirin, who, from what I understand, is going to be stepping away from the game for a bit from the execution days. He was the one who would run him with Ambrose. It's not a bad way to run him, because you can see, we'd be looking at some heavy move damage. The problem is you're still getting away from what the end game is, and the end game is blow up the board. So I'm going to go with literally the exact same moveset and trainers as Big Cass. Batista was my first powerhouse that became gold, and people look, oh, well, what were you thinking with Batista? Well, you guys forget that, at or about a year ago, there were not a lot of guys that, one, had any flow, 2, had any catastrophic damage as an option. It was basically kind of ADR. I had to use Stardust at the time. I was one of the first ones to really be promoting Stardust because of the fact that I couldn't pull ADR. I just never could pull them. So, that was part of the product. But other than that, you didn't have, all these great powerhouses, all these great massive damage guys. They really didn't exist. So you were forced to kind of look And other guys just didn't flow. I mean, we just went through, 7 superstars. How many of them really flew? I mean, Barrett looked pretty darn good, didn't he? Compared to some of the other idiots that we saw there. So now you're actually going to get the pleasure of seeing how, if all things work out, and amazingly, we got a couple double matches, we got what we needed. This is the upside that is Batista. And I did a Batista video, and it just went absolutely horridly. But this shows you that here's our upside. There's always two sides to a coin. And there's the Batista bomb, and bada bing, bada boom. Good night, Jericho. So, I speak ill of Batista, and he makes quick work of Jericho. And we get a max loot as a result of it as well. So, can't really say anything negative about him there, can we? Well, other than the fact that he didn't get me any TP in those 3 loot boxes, but I'm sure he had nothing to do with that. And kind of similar to when we did the Trickster video. Now all of a sudden we're in hell mode, and the Red Ring is back in town. And it's not as if we really had anything going on. We have this a repeat Intercontinental Gauntlet Blitz and nothing else going on. So I can't imagine there's a lot of people in the game right now. So we're gonna go next with one of my favorite characters, the Iron Sheik. It's partially nostalgic, and it's obviously partially due to the fact that I think I really take an enjoyment in the fact that in using characters that other people don't. So, Sheik, here's how we're going to run them. We're going to run the 2 green moves, and then we're going to run the red break, random column break gems. In general, my thought here is, and I've spoken about this, I don't think Ron Simmons is the move. I think when you're dealing random, it's still an 11 charge with the green. So the column breaks, yeah, we can flood them, but I mean, they're linked to the red, and we're not getting there. We're just not. It's an 11 charge unless we hold the green. And then we try to blow up the board from there, which is a move. I mean, it's something to think about. But I really just don't think there's as much value as there would be littering the board with 2,500 damage red gems. And that's what we're going to do. And it'll be turn 2 if we have the ability to get that turn 1 match. So that's how I'm going to run him. This will be the first time you see the Iron Sheik. I ran that video on the Sheik, 1, before Steel existed, 2, when they had the glitch where not only did Big John Studd work on changing the gems, but it also glitched and allowed all those red linked column break gems to be thrown out there and glitched to the same amount. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, you're going to see him how he's supposed to be played. So this will be a good start for us. What we're going to do is we're going to be able to get the green and the red, and we get a nice little row break right there. So, very enviable board to start. Now, we're going to lay 9. You got it, 9 on the board here. So, the board should be pretty littered. And it is. And, I mean, it's 35k damage. I mean, I can't see how anybody can complain about that. And it's over. So, ideally, what we would have wanted to do there with the green being an 11 charge, it would have been ready to go, not next turn, but the turn after. And then you throw out the column breaks, and as you can see, his red move was already charged. And then, so you throw out the column break, and it's, oh, by the way, a 21k move damage move. And you throw that out, and then you obviously have the red move that breaks it. And it's pretty catastrophic. So, but you can see right there, just based on that win and based on the cascade, that's why you want to have Big John Studd on him. I mean, when you're throwing out those, they're almost like bombs. You're throwing out those bombs. It gives yourself a real good shot to do what you got to do. So this is obviously a bit easier already when we're facing guys like Kurt Angle and Ted DiBiase. Not that Ted doesn't have value in this game, but I'd be hard pressed, nor am I even remotely concerned that anybody I throw out him right now is going to lose. So, and that would be true even if it was a silver. So what we're going to do here is we'll go through and we'll put Roman Reigns on. Roman, as we all well know, is pretty strong. I run him black, red, black. I like running him with Bray and Barrett. And you can see Barrett's gotten a lot of use, as has Bray, among these powerhouses. The reason I like running him that way is because it gets to a potential winning condition sooner. Breaking those red gems, again, they're bombs. They're 2,500. You can't. It's not the same as breaking a purple or breaking a green with a tech or a trickster. I mean, they are large hitting gems, and they could be enough to cascade you or get substantial amount of damage for the win. And additionally, it'll obviously fill up the other move too, which is his choose. So let's go right at it. So we get our black match, and we're gonna go get it. So we're gonna go break our 6 or so. So we're just short, and that is the danger. There's your downside on a break. Sometimes they're just not on the board, plain and simple, and that was the case here. So we'll block DiBiase from his purple. He takes a red from us. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Of course, we force a pin. And everybody loves the 5 matches from the sky, as I like to call them. They happen all the time in this game when we knew it's over, and it's going to be over. So we'll let the blast get here, and you can just see. I mean, it's another catastrophic situation, and that's exactly what it's going to be. So, and fortunately here, we've got that black match, which we can tie them together. So we'll do that. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we'll do it. It doesn't look real clean, but whatever. I don't really care. So, yeah, we're actually going to not be able to be just short. So, let's pick up some loot while we can. Match will end either way. Well, nothing says Roman Reigns victory like a bunch of clotheslines into a small package. But he's a strong character. And, if things work out the way they're supposed to, I mean, by turn 3, he should have been able to be choosing those blasts. So he's a very strong